Hey guys, Evan's coming at you. Just want to send this message. The last couple of weeks have been really interesting here at CNU Stretch. We did 2 cohorts over the course of like a week and a half. I was on a smaller side. We had to certify some people for CNU Fit. As you know, I own that company as well. So we had some people that needed to get certified, and then we allowed some people to plug in to that. And then we also did a one-on-one cert. And one thing I learned is this idea of the standard. So something we did differently here when we certified this last cohort, or the last 2, was, anytime somebody gets certified at headquarters, we actually have our clients be the people that they have to stretch. What determines if you get certified is not just being able to survive or make it through a 50-minute stretch session. What gets people certified is that I take the clients, I talk to them afterwards, and I say, will you pay for this? And the reason why, we understand that someone who's been stretching for just learned to stretch over the weekend is not going to be at the same level of caliber of someone who's been stretching for a year or 2, but they still have to be able to hit the key notes, so to speak, and to be able to deliver service that a client goes, I'll pay for this. And so the first batch that we did, it was kind of interesting. We started with 8 people signed up. 1 person didn't show. 1 person didn't make it after day 1, in there. We tell everybody it's a 2-day intensive. There's over 40 lessons to go through online. If you don't get through those lessons online, it makes it really challenging to make it through the course. This is easily a 5-day course, but I run a business. And being someone who created a stretch program, not from theory or concepts or some ideas that I liked, I created it to work with inside of a facility. Time is our greatest commodity. And so when we built CNU Stretch, we had to think, okay, would I want to shut down my gyms for 3, 4, 5 days in order to get people certified? Yes, the return on investment is great once they are, but how do you juggle a couple hundred people when you're doing, personal, semi-private training to be able to accomplish that? So that wasn't something we're willing to do. So we said, well, if people are focused, if they do the homework prior, or they do the prep work, and they do the homework, then we know they're going to be able to deliver results. And the proof's in the pudding. We have some gyms that are doing 15K a month just in stretching. So clients are liking it, and they're continually coming back. Anywho, somebody didn't make it past day 1 because it's an intensive. It means that you're going to be locked in. It's a full 8-hour day. You have a hour-long lunch on day 1 and a couple 5-minute breaks throughout. So into day 2, we go through, we finish, and then there's the test. It's a 50-minute practical. It's real clients that are coming in that were not there over the weekend, and their only objective is to experience what stretch is. And if you're HQ, they're going to evaluate you relative to Shekinah, Daea, Andre, Amanda, people who've been certified for a while, who they're already paying $120 for a 50-minute session. And many of them give even tip. So we sat down, we pulled the clients aside, and for 2 of the people, they said that I would not pay for this. And so they was like, they're great people, clients, they love to like soften the blow a little bit, but I don't want them to not be a client because I released them to these people. So we did the whole, wrap up. We do this aftermath after the clients leave, and I share with them like, hey, you 2 are not getting certified, this week. Spend this week, study up, learn, practice with our team, and then let's go after it. You can retest, almost like in the Air Force has a lot of tests like that. In teaching, you have to take a practice, and if you don't pass the practice the first time, doesn't mean you're going to be a bad teacher. It just means you're going to have to pay to take it again. Your certifications. I got an ACSM certification. You didn't pass the first time, you go study, you pay, you take the test again. And what I was really impressed with is these 2 young ladies who failed the test. They had a great attitude. They had a strong growth mindset around it, and they pushed themselves this week. They actually jumped into the next cert that we did and did day 2 with it. They retested, and actually had them retest with the same clients. So I didn't want a different point of view. And both of the clients, I mean, came back raving reviews. It was like, I'd pay for this. This was amazing. They really upgraded. And so it speaks to having a growth mindset and being someone who is willing to grow. And the clients thanked me at the end. They said, Evans, thank you for not compromising your certification, because we want to know that when you put a stretch therapist out there in the marketplace, we feel really good that they're going to deliver a certain quality. And it really increased my confidence, because, no one wants to tell someone, hey, look, you paid $1,500, or a gym paid 15 grand, 16 grand to get you certified, and you didn't meet muster. But it's something that we're going to maintain, because we want to know that, like, if someone says they're CNU Stretch certified, they're going to deliver the goods. So we're super pumped. There's such a growth opportunity, even for me, because it was the first time I had to do that. And on the back end was really cool. We had a young lady who she got certified, drove from West Virginia. There were two people. One person came from West Virginia, another person from Tennessee. But the person from West Virginia, she was a little concerned because she was a smaller sized female. And, one of the people that she was telling she's getting certified, he's a larger powerlifter dude. And man, she sent over a testimonial like the next day when she got home. She stretched him. Huge testimonial. He's like, man, I've been going to stretch this place and stretch that place to get stretched. And this was the best stretch I've ever had. And that was day one out of the cert. So super pumped to deliver a great product. But I want to talk to you guys and just share that. That's on my mind. I'll probably do a lot more things like in between because that kind of works better for my lifestyle versus something that's beautiful, published, set up in there. So there's a couple of things from the weekend, but I'll share those in separate videos. Talk to you guys in a bit.